TikTok looks like an app, a little black square, a music note, a place where someone teaches you how to make garlic butter noodles, while a robot voice explains why your childhood made you bad at texting back. But TikTok is not just an app. It is a road, a mall, a search engine, a talent agency, a newsstand, a casino, a mirror, and occasionally somehow a place where a raccoon opens a refrigerator better than most adults open an email attachment. For most of human history, infrastructure meant boring things: roads, pipes, ports, railways, power grids. The stuff society runs on quietly while everyone argues about more exciting things. But in the modern world, infrastructure can be invisible. The feed is infrastructure. The algorithm is infrastructure. The endless scroll is infrastructure. And TikTok may be one of the clearest examples of how a silly-looking entertainment app became part of the machinery of everyday life. You open it because you're bored, but inside, boredom has been turned into a global economic system. The old internet was built around intention. Google waited for you to type a question. YouTube waited for you to pick a video. Facebook waited for you to add friends. Instagram waited for you to follow people. The user was supposed to be in charge. You clicked, you searched, you subscribed, you chose. It was not perfect, obviously. The old internet was still full of pop-ups, fake download buttons, and men in forums explaining audio cables with terrifying confidence. But the basic structure made sense. You told the machine what you wanted, and the machine gave you something back. TikTok changed the deal. TikTok said, don't search, don't choose, don't even think, just arrive. The For You page did something quietly radical. It made the home screen of the internet feel less like a menu, and more like a conveyor belt. A video appears. You watch, you swipe. Another video appears. You watch, you swipe. Again, again, again. And after a while, the app no longer feels like it is responding to your choices. It feels like it is choosing on your behalf. TikTok says it's for you. Feed is shaped by signals like what you watch, what you skip, what you like, what you comment on, and what kind of videos you finish, which is a very calm corporate way of saying your thumb has become a confession device. The strange thing about TikTok is that you do not have to tell it who you are. You reveal yourself accidentally. A like is obvious. A comment is obvious. A follow is obvious. But TikTok is famous because it pays attention to the tiny stuff. Did you finish the video? Did you replay it? Did you pause? Did you watch 3 seconds too long? Did you scroll away immediately because a man with a ring light said, "Here are 5 passive income hacks," and your soul tried to escape your body? All of that is information. On TikTok, boredom becomes data. Hesitation becomes data. Embarrassment becomes data. A half-second pause on a video about minimalist apartments becomes the first brick in your new identity as someone who suddenly cares about Japanese storage boxes. This is what makes TikTok feel unsettling. It does not only know what you like, it sometimes seems to know what you are about to like. That is a different kind of power. Because traditional media tried to understand audiences in groups. Teenagers like this, parents like that, men aged 25 to 34 like electric toothbrush reviews and emotional repression. But TikTok is more intimate. It does not need to guess what your demographic likes. It watches what you personally cannot look away from. The result is a feed that feels custom-built, not around who you claim to be, but around what your nervous system keeps approving. And this is where the ordinary act of scrolling becomes weirdly profound, because humans like to imagine identity as something deep and noble. Values, taste, personality, memory, character. TikTok suggests that maybe identity is also made of microscopic pauses between videos, which is humiliating, but not necessarily wrong. Before TikTok, the internet had a social hierarchy. If you had followers, you got attention. If you did not have followers, you got vibes. Instagram rewarded people who already had an audience. YouTube rewarded people who could build one over time. Twitter rewarded people who could be confidently wrong in short sentences. But TikTok weakened the old follower graph. Suddenly, a person with no audience could upload one strange, perfectly timed video and reach millions. A student, a mechanic, a dentist, a grandmother, a bored accountant with a strong opinion about air fryers. TikTok made fame feel randomly available. Not guaranteed, not fair, but available. And that changed how people behaved online. Because once everyone believes they might go viral, ordinary life becomes raw material. Your lunch is content, your job is content, your apartment is content, your breakup is content, your dog's medical emergency is somehow a three-part story time with captions, suspense, and a discount code. This is one of TikTok's biggest cultural effects. It did not just create influencers, it made influence feel like a possible side effect of being alive. The platform turned the world into a giant audition room, and the judge was not a person. The judge was the feed. At first, TikTok was easy to dismiss. A lip-sync app, a dancing app, a teen app. This is the traditional life cycle of adults misunderstanding technology. First, they laugh at it. Then they complain about it. Then they copy it. Then their marketing department asks why their brand account only has 214 views and one comment from someone named Beanlord. TikTok did not remain a dancing app. It became a discovery engine for almost everything. Recipes, restaurants, books, travel, fitness, career advice, makeup, money tips, interior design, mental health language, tiny desk lamps that promise to fix your personality. For younger users especially, TikTok is not only entertainment. Pew Research Center found that roughly 8 in 10 teen TikTok users cite entertainment as a major reason for using it, and roughly 6 in 10 say they use it for product reviews. That detail matters, because product reviews are not just entertainment. They are decision-making. They are commerce. They are trust. And once an entertainment app becomes a place where people decide what to buy, where to eat, how to dress, how to think, and how to explain themselves, it has crossed into infrastructure. TikTok search is not like Google search. Google search begins with a question. TikTok often begins with a feeling. You are bored. You scroll. Then the app gives you a question you did not know you had. Why does my apartment feel depressing? Why is everyone suddenly using beef tallow on their face? Why do I feel guilty resting? Why does this 22-year-old know more about tax deductions than my accountant? The old internet helped you find answers. TikTok helps you discover new problems, which is both useful and deeply suspicious. The next step was obvious. If TikTok can predict what you want to watch, maybe it can predict what you want to buy. TikTok Shop brought shopping directly into the app through features like shoppable videos, live shopping, a shop tab, affiliate programs for creators, and checkout inside TikTok. This is not normal shopping. Normal shopping starts with need. You need socks, you search socks, you compare socks, you buy socks. You spend the next 3 days being followed around the internet by socks. TikTok shopping works differently. You did not wake up needing a vegetable chopper shaped like a spaceship. But then a creator shows you the chopper. The comments say it changed their life. The video has good lighting. The product is linked. The discount expires soon. And suddenly, society has advanced one tiny step closer to becoming a haunted vending machine. This is the genius of social commerce. Entertainment creates attention. Attention creates trust. Trust creates impulse. Impulse becomes purchase. Purchase becomes content. Content becomes more attention. The loop feeds itself. And it all happens inside the same gesture. Swipe, watch, want, buy. This is how scrolling becomes infrastructure. Not because the app is important in some abstract Silicon Valley keynote way, but because it now sits inside the daily path between boredom and money. The most obvious proof that TikTok changed the internet is that everyone copied it. Instagram pushed Reels, YouTube pushed Shorts, Facebook added short video feeds. Even platforms that had nothing to do with TikTok started behaving like TikTok. Everything became vertical. Everything became algorithmic. Everything became short. The internet used to be a place. Now it is a slot machine with captions. And to be clear, this is not because every company had a spiritual awakening about creative expression. They copied TikTok because TikTok revealed a better attention machine. The follower graph was slow. The subscription model was slow. The search box was slow. But the recommendation feed was fast. It could test a video on a small audience, measure reactions instantly, and then push it to larger audiences if the humans responded correctly. Content became less like publishing and more like biological selection. Videos mutate. The feed tests them. The strongest survive. The weakest disappear. And somewhere, a person who spent 3 hours editing a thoughtful essay watches a blurry video of a cat falling off a sofa get 19 million views. Nature is cruel. The algorithm is crueler. The uncomfortable part is not that TikTok shows people videos. The uncomfortable part is that it shows different people, different worlds. Your TikTok and my TikTok may have the same logo, but inside, they are different planets. One person's TikTok is productivity hacks, gym meals, and people waking up at 5 a.m. with suspicious enthusiasm. Another person's TikTok is cottagecore, divorce lawyers, and a man explaining Roman concrete. Another person's TikTok is conspiracy spirals, luxury handbags, and frogs wearing hats. Same app, different universe. This is powerful because personalization makes content feel relevant. But it is also strange because culture used to have more shared surfaces. People watched the same shows, read the same newspapers, saw the same ads, argued about the same terrible celebrity haircut. TikTok fragments reality into billions of personalized tunnels. Each tunnel feels normal from the inside, and that might be the most important thing about recommendation systems. They do not just show culture, they shape what feels culturally real. A song becomes popular because the feed repeats it. A product sells out because the feed makes it feel inevitable. A phrase enters everyday language because the feed drills it into the public brain. A person becomes famous because the system decides their face should appear again and again and again. This is why governments, advertisers, creators, and companies all care so much about TikTok. It is not just where people waste time, it is where attention gets routed. And in the modern economy, routing attention is a form of power. Reuters reported in January 2026 that ByteDance finalized a majority American-owned joint venture for TikTok's U.S. operations after years of national security battles around the app, showing how seriously governments now treat control over this kind of platform infrastructure. The app that looked like dancing teenagers became a geopolitical asset, which is a very normal sentence now, apparently. But here is the part that gets missed. TikTok is not addictive only because the algorithm is smart. It is addictive because humans are weird. We like novelty. We like stories. We like gossip. We like shortcuts. We like watching people do things we will never do. We like seeing someone organize a pantry with the seriousness of a military campaign. We like being told that our problems have names. We like discovering that thousands of strangers also lie in bed at midnight researching ergonomic chairs. TikTok works because it understands something ancient inside a very modern container. The village square, the marketplace, the theater, the rumor mill, the self-help shelf, the talent show, the shopping channel, the confessional booth. TikTok compressed all of them into one vertical feed. That is why it feels so full. It is not one thing. It is too many human things stacked on top of each other. A joke becomes a trend becomes a business becomes a lifestyle becomes an identity becomes a niche becomes a market, and then someone sells you a $17 planner to fix it. This is the absurd beauty of the system. TikTok did not invent human behavior. It industrialized it. TikTok still feels ordinary. It sits next to your weather app. You open it while waiting for food. You open it during work breaks. You open it when your brain has 2% battery and no desire to participate in civilization. But ordinary things are where the biggest systems hide. A credit card looked like plastic. A smartphone looked like a phone. A search bar looked like a rectangle. And TikTok looks like an app. But underneath, it is a machine for turning behavior into prediction, prediction into attention, attention into culture, culture into commerce, commerce into more content, and more content into more behavior. The loop is elegant. The loop is profitable. The loop is slightly insane. And maybe the strangest thing about TikTok is not that it knows us so well. The strangest thing is how much we reveal. When we think we are doing nothing, just watching, just swiping, just scrolling, as if scrolling is passive, as if the thumb is innocent, as if the road beneath modern culture is not being built. One tiny movement at a time, because TikTok did not just turn videos into entertainment, it turned scrolling into infrastructure. Like, share, and subscribe, because apparently even your thumb is part of the infrastructure now. Thanks for watching. We will see you again with another Unhinged video.